Hey. Welcome to my channel. I'm not saying welcome back to my channel because I'm like 99% sure that there's 2 people that are gonna watch this video. If that's okay. The last time that you saw me, if you've been on this channel before, was probably when I talked about my irrational phobia of Billy Bob Thornton, which I am proud to say I have gotten over. So, round of applause for Katie. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, I did a lot of work. So I thought for my first official video on my channel, I would show you guys my CD collection as well as my vinyl collection, because I listen to a lot of music and I think it says a lot about my personality in the way that I am a little bit pretentious. I do want to start out with my CDs. So, this is the current setup for my music listening area. This is my record player. I don't know what type it is because I got it off Facebook Marketplace for about $10, but it works perfectly and it plays absolutely beautiful. And then I have some of my Littlest Pet Shops also over here as well. And then next to my CD player, I have one of my little Pop Mart figurines. I think this is Poppy. We also have a porcelain doll. I adore porcelain dolls. They're kind of all over my room. And then I have my CD player, which looks a bit like a vinyl player on the inside, and then the remote on top of it. And then obviously I have my CD bins up here. We're gonna start out with the first bin, starting with A, obviously, because they're in alphabetical order. So the first album in my collection, going alphabetically, is Jagged Little Pill by Alanis Morissette, and my favorite song on here is Forgiven. I actually got this for $1 at a thrift store in Denton, which was really cool, because I think this album, I don't know how much it goes for actually, but for $1, that's a great price. The second album that I have is Vacancy by Bayside, and my favorite song on here is Pretty Vacant. I also found this one for like $1 at a thrift store. The next artist that I have 4 of his albums because I love his music. So up next we have Beck. So first up for Beck we have Güero. And my favorite song on this one is Que Onda Güero. It's actually the first song I heard of Beck, so I was really excited when I found that album. The next one we have is Midnight Vultures. Favorite song on here is Mixed Business. Also, I love the way that this album looks, and the back of it is really, really cool. The next album that I have is Modern Guilt, and my favorite song on here is Profanity Prayers. The last album that I have for Beck is Sea Change, and my favorite song on here, can you guess? Lonesome Tears. The next one, this is actually the only copy of this album ever released. It's by my grandpa, actually. And it's called Unforgettable Characters. It's really, really good. And then, like every good Italian American, I have Billy Joel. This is 52nd Street. And my favorite song on here is Big Shot. Sticking to my roots there, thank you, Dad. The next album that I have caused a little bit of a stir up in my family because my mom hates his music and hates him. Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen. And my favorite song on here is I'm on Fire. I'm on Fire might be one of the most beautiful songs that I've ever heard in my entire life. He really understands what it's like to be a woman in your 20s. Not a lot of male musicians who understand that. So if you know anything about me, you'll know that I love old CCM music. I say old CCM music because CCM now is just not good. I do not like Chris Tomlin, okay? I don't think he can write. Good Father is not a good song, okay? Hot take. CCM would not be where it is today without DC Talk. I love DC Talk. I cannot tell you how excited I was to find this album at Barnes & Noble. Okay, I don't care that the case is cracked. This is one of my favorite albums, one of my favorite musicians of all time. Oh yeah, this is Free at Last. I forgot to say the album name. Very good album. My favorite song on here is Word to the Father. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The next album that I have is The Doors, self-titled, because as I said at the beginning, I am a little bit pretentious, and I think that everyone who collects music, this is kind of a rite of passage. My favorite song on here is Backdoor Man. Very good. I didn't have a One Direction phase growing up, but I have definitely gotten one now. So, if you could guess, the next album is Fine Line by Harry Styles. Oh yeah. My favorite song on here is Lights Up. Perfect song. Absolutely perfect. Beautiful. I love it so much. Speaking of CCM that's actually good, our next artist is Jars of Clay, and I actually have 2 of their albums, both of which I found at the same time on the same day at a thrift store for $2. Not $2 each, $2 for both of them. First album that we have is Much Afraid, and my favorite song on here is Portrait of an Apology. And the next one I have is their self-titled album. My favorite song on here is Worlds Apart. Fabulous album. We're not straying away from CCM for very long because the next album that I have is Take Me to Your Leader by the Newsboys. This CD has something very cool in the back of the credit pages, and I'm pretty sure that only like a handful of people are gonna understand what I'm talking about when I say this, but this is really cool because in the back of the credit pages, you can redeem this for a free issue of Contemporary Christian Magazine. Wild. Okay, now, I know I said I never had a One Direction phase, but the more that I get into their music, the more that it grows on me. So, obviously the next one that we have is Midnight Memories by One Direction. I just realized this case is broken. Is it still gonna open? Oopsie! Okay, anyways, Midnight Memories by One Direction. My favorite song on here is either Diana or Best Song Ever. Duh. Okay, that music video changed my life. Next up we have All Things Bright and Beautiful by Owl City. I grew up listening to his music, so this album really has a special place in my heart. And my favorite song on here is either Kamikaze or Deer in the Headlights. I really can't pick. Everything about this album is just flawless, wonderful, amazing, spectacular, never been done before.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique, completely not ever been done before, unafraid to reference or not reference, put it in a blender, it, vomit on it, eat it, give birth to it.
Yeah, what she said. The last album from this bin is Amnesiac by Radiohead. I love Radiohead so much, and obviously my favorite song on here is Knives Out. Duh! What else would it be? I guess it would also be Packed Like Sardines, but moving on to the second bin. Look at how tightly these are packed in here. I'm worried that it might crack my CD cases if they're like too tight. We're still on Radiohead, by the way. Obviously the next album is The Bends. Duh! Favorite song on here is either Black Star, Planet Telex, or Nice Dream. I really cannot pick from this album. It's wonderful start to finish. Favorite Radiohead album right here. Perfect. No notes. 10 out of 10. Lovely. I thought I had 4 of their albums, but I cannot find I Might Be Wrong live sessions, so I guess this is the last one that I have. Anyways, this one's Hail to the Thief by Radiohead. Duh. And my favorite song on this one is We Suck Young Blood. Good. So good. I don't know what their obsession is with vampires, but whatever it is, keep on going, because it's perfect. I do really want to find the Twilight soundtracks because Tom York does a whole bunch of songs for Twilight, and I think that it's so perfect. The next album that I have is Kansas Anymore by Role Model. It's not the deluxe album. I really wanted the deluxe album, but all they had was the original, which I'm still totally okay with. And my favorite song on here is Francis. If it was the deluxe album, I would definitely say Some Protector, because I'm just like that, I guess. Also, this one has a picture disc. Very cool. Man's Best Friend. Duh. Fabulous album. I'm really growing to like the cover and to like her music in general. It's really good. Also a picture disc. Very cute. I'm absolutely obsessed with her tour outfits. I think they're so cool. Oh yeah, my favorite song on here is House Tour. Duh. I love that she's catering to real estate moguls. I think that's really cool. Next up, we have The Baby by Samia, and this one is signed, which I didn't know when I bought it because I got it secondhand off the internet, and they did not send me pictures. So, very cool. My favorite song on here is Minnesota, but I also really love Stella. Phenomenal song. The next two that I have are kind of from a niche artist. Unless you know Weird Al, then he's not niche, but they're from Stephen Joy, who is Weird Al's, I think he's his guitarist. I actually got these when me and my sister went to see Weird Al, and you can watch her vlog up on her channel. I'll have it linked down below. So the first one is So Do I, Sadie, and my favorite song on here is Running Through the Forest. Then we have Vida Beata? Vida Beta? Vida Beta? Vida Beata? I have no idea how to say that. My favorite song on here is Shepherd's Pie. We're back with CCM because the next album that I have is Speechless by Stephen Curtis Chapman. And can you guess my favorite song on here? It's Dive, obviously. But I also really love Fingerprints of God. I have seen Stephen Curtis Chapman live about 6 times. I love him and I love his music, and I think he is phenomenal. If I find them, I'll insert some clips of us at his concerts.
Summer camp, dance moves, vacation moms, and motions, where they were diving in. My socks are gloves are soaked, and I can't feel my fingers or my toes. My lips are chapped, my cheeks are rosy, and my whole body is froze.
The next one that I have is kind of a wild card, but if you know absolutely anything about me, you'll know that I love Strawberry Shortcake. So obviously the next one that I have is Very Merry Christmas by Strawberry Shortcake. The Various Artists. I love The Various Artists.
I feel you.
This album is so cute. Look at her. Look at her. She's just hanging out with her friends. And we get to see Ginger Snap, who is one of my favorite characters. And my favorite song on here is obviously Sugarberry Fairy. The next artist that I have is Taylor Swift, and I actually only have 2 of her CDs. I think I have more of her vinyls than I do her CDs. I have Fearless, Taylor's version, and my favorite song on here is either Hey Steven or The Way I Loved You. Then I have The Life of a Showgirl. I really like this cover because it reminds me of Fearless, and that's one of my favorite albums of hers. My favorite song on here is Father Figure. Next up we have Snipe Hunter by Tyler Childers. And I actually have 3 favorite songs on this album because I love this album and I can't pick one. So we have Onita, Eatin' Big Time, and Bitin' List. So next up we have the Prince of Egypt soundtrack. It's actually not the whole soundtrack, it's just selections from it. And my favorite song on here is Through Heaven's Eyes. And then the other Various Artists is the original cast recording of Tick Tick Boom on, I don't think this was on Broadway, actually. And my favorite song on here is either Therapy or Johnny Can't Decide. Up next we have VeggieTales, and I only have 2 of their CDs because they're really hard to find. First up we have Christian Hit Music, and this one actually has, Dive featuring Stephen Curtis Chapman, but then they cover a Toby Mac song that I love called Made to Love, and he's not on there. That's okay though, because it's really good. Also by VeggieTales, we have The Singing Christmas Tree. If I find any of the Silly Song CDs, it is over. I will be done collecting. That's all that I want. Next we have Water Parks, and I have 2 CDs from them. I have Greatest Hits, and my favorite song from this one is American Graffiti. I've seen them in concert, which was a fantastic experience. They played Plum Island because it was requested as like a deep cut, but only 3 people, including myself, knew the song. It was so quiet.
Quiet.
We have Intellectual Property next. This one is a very cool album. I also really like the branding of this album. I think the whole property idea was very cool. And my favorite song on here is Self-Sabotage. The last album in my collection is by far my absolute favorite. Went to his concert and actually got the set list and got to meet him, and he was really sweet. Obviously it's Splinter by Wes Parker. And my favorite song on here is Den. It's so good. I also really like the inside of this album. Look at that. That's so cool. He's a semi-small artist, and you should definitely go check out his stuff because it's really, really good. I'll have his Spotify linked below. So that is it for my CDs. I think I counted 37, so we're gonna move on to my vinyls. Okay, record time. So first I have my 7-inch single records. I only have 2 of these, but both of them are by my favorite musicians. So for my 7-inch singles, the first one that I have is War by Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. This is the only vinyl that I still have the protective covering for, mainly because this part, like the actual cover for the vinyl, is very fragile and I didn't want it to break. Up next we have 2 singles from Del Water Gap. We have How to Live and It Is What It Is. It Is What It Is actually a vinyl exclusive, which I was very excited about because it's fantastic. So first up for my album vinyls is What Happened to the Beach by Declan McKenna. And my favorite song on here is I Write the News. I'm not going to show you all of the actual records because some of them are just kind of boring to look at, but I will show you the ones that are either picture disc or color. This one is very pretty and also my favorite shade of yellow. Very beautiful. Next up we have Chasing the Chimera by Del Water Gap. I actually have a signed poster that came with this copy, which I will insert a picture of here. Del Water Gap is by far my favorite musician. I love his stuff so much. I actually can't pick a favorite song off of this album because I think all of his songs are perfect. There is not a single one of his songs that I do not like. So for this album, I'm gonna go with East Side Girls, New Personality, and Ghost in the Uniform. Especially Ghost in the Uniform. I love that song so much. Next up, we have Willoughby Tucker, I Will Always Love You by Ethel Cain. My favorite song on here is either Janie or Nettles, but I also really love Dust Bowl. Up next, we have God's Favorite Customer by Father John Misty. And my favorite song on this album is Disappointing Diamonds Are the Rarest of Them All. This next one is really cool to me because it's signed. We have The Heart by Grayscale. You can see all of their signatures on the side. I've seen them twice at pop-up shows and actually got to meet Colin, which was really cool. And my favorite song on here is Summer Clothes. This particular pressing is one of my favorites. I think the colors are absolutely gorgeous. It reminds me of a cup of coffee. Okay, back to my kind of One Direction phase. We have Self-Titled by Harry Styles. My favorite song on here is Only Angel. Like every good thought daughter, THOUGHT, I am obsessed with Jeff Buckley, and obviously have Grace. My favorite song on this one is Lilac Wine. This might annoy some people, but I also have Beautiful Chaos by Cat's Eye. I love Cat's Eye. I've been really getting into their music lately. I also used to be a dancer, so learning their dances has been really, really fun for me, and every time Gnarly comes on, I gotta gnarly. Like, my family has been really annoyed by me doing it all the time. Also, the pressing for this album is absolutely gorgeous. Like, look at that color. My favorite song on here is Game Boy. Once again, since I am a thought daughter, THOUGHT, I have to have Submarine by the Marias. And my favorite song on here is Hamptons. Up next, we have an artist whose albums I have the most of on vinyl, tied only with Taylor Swift, but it is Matt Maltese. So first we have Bad Contestant, and it is signed. I got this at his concert, and it was so fantastic. I got to give him one of my little porcelain dolls named Frederick, and I think he might have been a little bit creeped out by it, but I promise it's not haunted, okay? Once again, another gorgeous pressing. And my favorite song on here is Nightclub Love, but I also really love Misery. We also have Good Morning, It's Now Tomorrow, also by Matt Maltese. My favorite song on here is Shoe. The last Matt Maltese album that I have is Driving Just to Drive, and my favorite song on here is Mortician. Up next we have Phoebe Bridgers, and I have 2 of her albums. So first up we have Stranger in the Alps, and my favorite song on here is Scott Street. And then obviously we also have Punisher, and my favorite song on here is Kyoto. So after Phoebe Bridgers is Taylor Swift, and I have 3 of her vinyls. So first we have Red. I love this album with all of my heart. It is, next to Speak Now, it's my favorite album. Speak Now is my absolute favorite album of hers, which I don't have on like any platform. And my favorite song on here is Holy Ground. Up next we have 1989, and my favorite song on here is Out of the Woods. The last Taylor Swift album that I have is kind of a rare one, which was very cool because I found it at a record shop for $15. So it is All Around the World, which is a collection of live songs. And this one is a gorgeous color. It kind of matches my shirt. Not really though, but it's pink. I love pink. The last vinyl that I have in my collection is actually the first vinyl that I ever got, and it is Vessel by 21 Pilots. Good album. And my favorite song on here is Fake You Out. So I hope you guys enjoyed me yapping about my music collection for however long this video is. And if you did, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and comment down below who your favorite musician is. I do want to try to upload on here pretty consistently, which I think for my schedule would probably be about twice a month or like every other week. All of my links and my other socials will be down below in the description box. I also have a chicken smoothie. If you would like to trade me, please trade me. I'm looking for trades. But if there is a particular video that you guys want me to do, comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.